if you genuinely loved the party and still needed 2 hours of silence to recover from it. If you said almost nothing at dinner and then talked for 40 straight minutes the second someone mentioned the one topic you actually care about. If people call you quiet at work and your family would laugh at that description. Welcome. Almost everything you've been told about this is slightly off. Or maybe you know someone like this. The coworker who barely speaks in meetings and then sends an email afterward that reorganizes the entire plan. The friend who's incredible one-on-one and disappears halfway through every group hangout. The person who seems shy at a party and turns out to be the loudest one at their own dinner table. Here's the first thing worth knowing. It was never really about people. The common story is that introverts dislike socializing. Research doesn't back that up. Most introverts genuinely enjoy connection. What's different is how fast that connection turns expensive. An introvert can have a wonderful time at a party and still need to go home and disappear for a while afterward. Not because the party was bad, but because stimulation has a cost that adds up faster for some brains than others. That cost is partly written in before anyone even gets a say in it. Twin studies suggest introversion and extroversion have a real genetic component. Not the whole story, but a meaningful piece of it. This isn't something most people gradually become through bad experiences. A lot of it is closer to temperament, present from early on, the same way handedness is. A couple of other assumptions fall apart just as fast. Introverts tend to smile less and show less outward expression in general, which gets read as unhappiness when it usually isn't. Feeling something and displaying it aren't the same process. And for a lot of introverts, those two things simply aren't synced up the way they are for everyone else. The stereotype about avoiding excitement doesn't hold up either. Plenty of introverts skydive, climb, race motorcycles, chase genuinely thrilling experiences, and then go straight home to recover alone afterward. Needing quiet after a party and needing quiet after jumping out of a plane turn out to be the exact same mechanism, just triggered by a completely different kind of stimulation. Here's a better way to think about what's actually draining. People love saying introverts need to recharge, like there's a battery somewhere. There isn't. Not literally. What's actually happening is more specific: constant conversation, social monitoring, reading the room, tracking who said what. All of that eats into a limited pool of attention. Solitude doesn't recharge a battery. It gives that attention a chance to stop being spent. After enough social hours, some people describe something close to a hangover. Foggy thinking, trouble concentrating, a real pull toward quiet, and it has nothing to do with disliking the people they were just with. Here's the uncomfortable part, and it's a quieter kind of uncomfortable than most twists in these videos. Introverts tend to judge their own social performance harder than anyone else does. Studies on self-perception have found that quieter people often rate how a conversation went far more critically than the people they were actually talking to. The introvert leaves thinking that was awkward. I talked too little. I probably came off strange. The other person leaves thinking that was a great conversation. They were really easy to talk to. The gap isn't in what happened. It's entirely in who's grading it, and one of the two graders is being unnecessarily harsh. So why does a personality like this exist at all, if the world seems built for the loud version? Because it turns out this split isn't a human quirk, it's much older than humans. Behavioral biologists have found consistent bold and shy personality types across an enormous range of species: fish, birds, spiders, even octopuses. Some individuals explore, take risks, move fast. Others hang back, observe, notice threats early, and hold on to information the risk-takers don't have time to gather. Evolutionary psychologists argue groups actually need both strategies to survive, because a population made entirely of explorers eventually runs into the one danger nobody was watching for. Introversion isn't a bug that slipped through evolution. It's closer to a role that kept getting selected for. Generation after generation, because someone has to be the one paying attention. Now here's the part almost nobody catches, and it's the twist that should make a lot of workplaces rethink how they run meetings. Everyone assumes group brainstorming produces the best ideas, more voices, more energy, more collision of thoughts. Decades of research on this says otherwise. People working individually and combining their ideas afterward consistently generate more original ideas than the same people brainstorming together in a room. The loudest part of the meeting often isn't where the best thinking happens. It's frequently where the best thinking gets drowned out before it's fully formed. And when quieter people do speak up, conversation research has found their comments are more likely to introduce something genuinely new rather than just repeat what's already been said. Less talking, but a higher hit rate per sentence. That same pattern explains why introverts get mistaken for great listeners even when listening skill has nothing to do with it. They simply interrupt less and leave more space in the conversation, and the other person walks away feeling unusually heard. It also explains one of the biggest myths going, that introverts can't handle public speaking. Small talk is unpredictable, constant improvisation with no script. A speech is structured, prepared, contained. Plenty of well-known introverts have been excellent public speakers for exactly that reason. The format rewards preparation over spontaneity, and preparation happens to be where introverts do their best work. It's worth being precise about one thing here too, because it matters for anyone worried they're just isolating themselves. Psychologists draw a hard line between solitude and loneliness. Solitude is chosen, and for a lot of introverts it's genuinely restorative. Loneliness is unwanted, and it's harmful no matter what personality someone has. Enjoying time alone is not the same thing as being isolated, and mistaking the two can make someone feel guilty for a kind of quiet that was actually doing them good. This same pattern shows up in leadership research too, and it cuts against the usual image of what a good leader sounds like. Studies have found introverted leaders can actually outperform extroverted ones, specifically on teams full of proactive, engaged employees. Because they listen more and dominate the room less, their team members end up contributing more of their own ideas instead of just executing someone else's. The quiet leader isn't accidentally effective despite being quiet. The quiet is often what makes room for everyone else to think out loud. It's also a big part of why so many introverts gravitate toward email and messaging over phone calls. Not out of avoidance, but because writing gives thought a place to happen before anyone has to respond in real time. None of this means the loud version of a room is wrong, or that the quiet one is secretly better. It means the group was probably never supposed to be made of one type of person in the first place. Somebody has to speak first and take the risk. Somebody has to notice what everyone else missed while they were busy talking. Evolution apparently needed both, which might be the simplest explanation for why the quiet ones never actually went away. Subscribe and watch this video next.